Vale, creo que ya puedo silenciar esto un poquito. Aunque sea un poquito. ¡Hola! ¡Hola! ¿Cómo están? Peo. ¡Ah! Chistoso. ¡Ah! 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 Bueno, ¿cómo están? Hola. This is me, el Pepe Talking. Epic. Epic. Salta al medio que... Bueno. Bueno. Ah. Ah. Hola, para acá. Bueno, viejo Julio. Bueno, hola, ¿cómo están? Voy a comer. Hola. ¡Hola! ¡Hola! ¿Por qué no me agarra el...? ¡Oh! ¡Oh! Ahí está. Hola. Hola, ¿cómo están? ¡Hola! Viejo Julio Moroco. ¡Oh! ¿Cómo están, gente? ¿Cómo... ¡Cómo les va la vida! Hola. Yo creo que ya no debe haber más preámbulo, así que simplemente voy a accionar el juego. Déjenme... Vale, quito esto. Y ahora... le apachurro esto. Permiso. Vamos a empezar. Hola. Ah. Uy, espera. Ay, ay. Eh, a ver. ¿Dónde está? Aquí está. Creo que esto debería ser, ¿verdad? Sí, ahí está. Vale. ¿Qué es la tasa de captura? Bueno, se queda ahí. Porque... Porque se ha demorado. Ah, espérate, ¿por qué se ha demorado? No, yo no quiero esto. Tal vez sea la tasa de captura. Ay, no, puse otra wea. No, por favor. ¿Será esto? Permitir transparencia. Ahí está, que lo tenía. Vale. Eh, vale, voy a poner tasa de captura más rápida. No sé qué hará. Bueno. Eh, no, es PM. No, espérate. Son las 7. No, espérate. Ahí está. 7:50. Momento. Antes de que empecemos, ¿puedo decir algo? Gracias por configurar la hora de las 2 veces que iniciaste el juego. Sí, ya había entrado a este juego una vez solamente como para probar eh, el juego, así que bueno. Puse la hora bien una vez. Gracias por configurar la hora las 2 veces que iniciaste el juego. De hecho, déjame bajarle un poquito la mira al micrófono. ¿Se me escucha bien o no? Hola, hola, ¿cómo están? Hola. A ver, déjame... ¿Se me escucha bien o no? ¿Aló? ¿Se me escucha bien o no? ¿Aló? ¿Se me escucha bien o no? Ah, sí, se me escucha bien, vale. Vale, continuemos. Déjame cerrar esto. Déjame cerrar... Bueno, creo que está ahí. Vale. Lo que sea. ¡Ya! Eh, Holanda, que salga. Bueno, gracias por configurar la hora de las 2 veces que iniciaste el juego. Mucha gente no se toma en serio este paso. Dejan el reloj en 12 y siguen adelante. Pero tú te tomaste el tiempo de configurarlo y te lo agradezco. Ahora sé que esta experiencia es importante para ti. Estás prestando atención. Ni siquiera tengo forma de saber si la hora que pusiste es la correcta. ¿Sabes algo? Hagamos un trato. Como cooperaste, la próxima vez que inicies el juego y veas esta pantalla, pon tu hora favorita en el reloj. Adelante, elige la hora que quieras, aunque no sea la correcta. Te lo ganaste. Bien, ya te dejo de vuelta al videojuego. Eh... Y voy a abrirlo de nuevo. Jugar de todas maneras. Pero no se puede sincronizar. Eso significa que ya no se me guardó nada, ¿verdad? Ay, puta madre. Ah, las 7:53 pm. Tu hora favorita. ¡Ah! Entonces sí se guardó. ¡Ay, puta madre! eh... O... ¿Será que no pudiste resistirte y me diste la hora correcta otra vez? ¡No! ¡Fuck! Después de todo, sé que disfrutas de poner la hora correcta. Ahora quiero saber qué tan precisa es la hora. 11:53 pm. Usemos otra barra deslizante. ¿Qué tan precisa es la hora 7:53? Precisa. Por accidente. ¿Sabes una cosa? Sin importar la precisión del reloj, lo estoy pasando bien ajustando estas configuraciones. Siento que estoy conociendo mejor y entendiendo cómo te gustan las cosas. Reunir datos es bueno. Ojalá tuviera más barras deslizantes, pero ya las usamos todas. Quizá pueda inventarme algunas barras deslizantes nuevas para reunir más datos sobre ti. No debería ser muy difícil. Sí, voy a crear algunas. Deberían estar listas la próxima vez que inicies el juego. Eh... Tengo... Tengo que... Tengo que... Espérate. Ajusta la barra deslizante hasta que la computadora sea apenas visible. Empieza a iluminarse, ¿no? Sí. Ahí está bien para mí. Ajusta la barra deslizante hasta que el perro y el gato sean amigos. Oh, bueno, amigos. Porque así eran como enamorados. Este. Ajuste la barra deslizante hasta que el número 5 se convierta en el número 9. ¡Coco! 9. Ajusta la barra deslizante hasta que el menú cambie. ¿Cuál de estas dos palabras inventadas te resulta más interesante? Ocuboincal frimósico. Frimósico. No ajuste la barra deslizante. ¿Sabes qué hora es en este momento? Sí. ¿La hora que es en este momento es la hora correcta? Sí.
Cualquier contexto que sea. Tu mamá, weón.
Tu mamá.
Tu mamá.
Bueno. ¿Y qué es el tiempo? Sí. ¿Hay algo acerca de ti que no me hayas contado? ¿Que no me hayas dicho? Muchas cosas. Ayuda. Sí, ayudo. ¿Volverás a visitarme? Sí. Apenas termino con esto voy a cerrar el juego de nuevo. Bueno, salir al escritorio. Permiso. Ay, déjame correr esto. Un poquito más arriba. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Alguien lo sabe, verdad? Claro que no. Nadie sabe nada. Tú y yo ni siquiera nos conocemos. Somos como desconocidos. Sí, ajusté todas las configuraciones del juego exactamente como querías, pero ¿quién no lo ha hecho? Es lo que hago. Es mi trabajo. Y ahora el trabajo está hecho. No tengo más información que reunir. Ya conseguí de ti todos los datos que puedo. Y sigo sin saber quién eres en verdad. Y tú no sabes quién soy yo. Y ninguno de nosotros sabe qué hora es. Supongo que algunas configuraciones son inconfigurables. Pero, para serte sincero, el reloj no hace nada más en el juego. No hace nada en el juego de todos modos. No estaré aquí la próxima vez que inicies el juego, pero no pasa nada. Los videojuegos están hechos para que se jueguen en soledad. Te gusta estar en soledad, ¿no? Quizás esto sea lo único que realmente sé de ti. Bueno, es hora de que me vaya. Hay una configuración más que debemos ajustar, pero todavía no estoy en condiciones de hacerlo. No es mi trabajo, pero no pasa nada. Quizás me veas de nuevo, si puedes encontrarme. Hablar pronto. ¡No está! Puta la wea, ya, oye. Puta la wea.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
¡Ay, soy estúpido! Había desactivado el esto. Vale. Tengo un problema con este juego y lo voy a repetir de nuevo. Yo jugué el antiguo. Yo jugué el Stanley Parable normal. Esta es la versión deluxe. Que por lo que entiendo, al final muere. Ya, Digori. Sí, Diego. Tengo un problema con este juego, que esta es la versión deluxe. Yo me acuerdo mucho. Hasta el día de hoy me sigo acordando del primer juego. Y sé que aquí han cambiado cosas. El problema es que no sé qué. Lo único que sí es que soy alguien que le gusta cazar logros. Así que me van a tener que disculpar. Pero tengo que... ya saben. Vale, primero era el de saltar. ¡Oh! You can logro bloqueado. No puedes saltar y ten tu primer logro. Ahora está el de la puerta 430.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Sí.
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
¡Sexo! Vale.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Vale. A sacar el otro instinto.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost.
Okay.
Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417, 417. 420. Ah, no, 417.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437. Pero esto va en descenso. Ah, vale. De aquí para acá va en ascenso. 437. El patabanza tiene pitulín. 4.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415. Sí, no puedo correr esta velocidad normal. 415.
Now, back to door number 437.
437. Dios santo, qué divertido, ¿no?
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm
Yes,
really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
417. Gracias, Diguri.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
419.
Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like
Yeah,
that. All
yeah.
right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416 va en descenso por aquí.
We've almost got it. Now the copy machine,
vale, la
do
copia.
that one again.
Puta la wea, tengo que caminar todo este rato. Ya, pues conchetumare, vamos.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430.
¡Vamos! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes!
¡Eh!
Oh, wow.
Vamos.
That felt amazing.
Va-
Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today.
Gracias.
Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
Vale. Me acuerdo de esos logros nomás. Del de no saltar y el de la puerta 430. Vale, vamos.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Lo voy a completar de la forma normal primero. Voy a seguir las órdenes. Hola, permiso, ¿cómo van?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
A ver.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ahora es más accesible el baño. Creo que en el juego original el baño solamente podías abrir la puerta un par de veces cada ciertas partidas.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Okay.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Espera, ¿cuál era? Espérate. Puta, no puse atención, puta la wea. Espérate. ¿Cuál era? Espérate, capaz me lo hice de nuevo así por un rato.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know
Nico,
the
gracias.
combination was 2845.
2, 8, 4, 5. No me acuerdo de la combinación, pero me acuerdo que hay un logro.
¡Gracias!
45.
Vale.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
Conche
by
tu madre,
sheer
nunca había
luck.
visto este juego tan HD, weón.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Vale, este es otro de los logros que me acuerdo del juego. Refiriéndome al pad aquí. Bueno, no lo puedo volver a tocar, así que bueno, a la mierda. Creo que si mal no recuerdo era apretando el botón 8 un montón de veces. Pero sí, muchas gracias. ¡Qué divertido! Voy a jugar este juego de nuevo. ¡Yipi! ¡Yipi!
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
¡Espérate! En el original tú no podías volver para arriba. No, la puerta está... No podías volver para arriba.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Sí, luego aquí está el otro, la ruta de escape. De hecho, espérate. Espérate.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death?
No, pero sé que decía más el hombre que sí. Creo que si iba más lejos decía algo más, ¿no? Pues no,
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
De ahí ya sabía. La venganza del papo. Vale, no dice nada ahora, ¿no? Vale, aquí hay un huevo de Pascua que me acuerdo muy bien. Porque era de mis favoritos dentro del juego.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
También me acuerdo que hay una pantalla, que dice pirata.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Dios santo, este juego. Me encanta. Espérate, por acá está el de pirata, justo arriba, justo acá arriba. El que dice pirata. Ahí está pirata. Empleado pirata. Ay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Y aquí es donde entra el huevo de Pascua. Me acuerdo que si esperas un momento, esto se abre. Espero que en esta versión no lo hayan cambiado. De verdad que lo espero. Por favor. Desempleado, desempleado. Oh. Oh. Voy a tomar un poquito de agüita, permiso. ¿Dónde está mi botella? ¿Dónde está mi botella? Ahí está. ¡Ay! Se me cayó. Ah, ahí está. ¡Ay! Ya se abrió. Chucha. Solamente espero que no se haya... esperen, déjenme... Vale, está. No lo han cambiado. Y este anterior está mucho más bonito. Porque antes eran solamente las letras. Ahora el texto, ahora son las partes de atrás. Ahí está. Faithfully Ported Secret 2022. Secret Mode Engage, Secret Room 2014. Concha número del juego del 2014, se me olvidó. You never go back. Don't touch the secrets. Happy secrets for you. Super secret, bro. Secret. Bueno, este juego de Pascua es de los mejores, weón. Disco Secret.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
No. Lo habré bloqueado. Termina el juego. Hola, anatomía. No recuerdo qué otros logros más había.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Creo que había uno
Stanley
referente a
decided
esto.
to go to the meeting
De
room.
subirse
Perhaps
aquí.
he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Era uno referente caminando por aquí. Aquí está. Y luego te saltabas por acá. Pero no lo voy a hacer porque Dios santo, qué paja. Me perdí todo el juego. No, tranquilo. Está recién empezando. Vale.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Sí.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate,
Papá número
beautifully
uno.
constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Pero luego me tengo que ir.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
El hombre
open
que
door on his
desanda.
left.
Sí.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Increíble. Me
All of
morí.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Hay algo que también me acuerdo,
Yet
es
there
esto?
was not a single person here
que es
either. Feeling a
específicamente
wave of
esta
disbelief,
aquí.
Stanley decided to go up. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
¿Sabes qué? No. Bueno, ¿sabes qué? Voy a hacer esto luego. Esto lo me encanta ese final. Espérate.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Quiero hacer el logro de la 8. Y quiero ver qué pasa si te devuelves. A ver. Me acuerdo, es el ascensor. Puedes llegar a escuchar al narrador susurrando el tema. Es lo mejor. Luego de un tiempo puedes escuchar al narrador. Qué gracia que hayan dejado el ascensor.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud
8.
to nobody.
8. Listo, ahí
He
está.
began
Logro 8.
wildly tearing through papers on the
Eh.
boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention
¿cómo
was
era?
caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its
2845.
purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Música New Age tranquilizadora. ¿Me podéis dejar pasar ya?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
¿Ya por dónde está? Lo que yo quiero probar es esto. Que el ascensor ahora puedes volver. Y eso antes no se podía. Volver por el mismo ascensor donde bajaste. Mira, mira, mira. Está aquí y luego está esto.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Ok. Puedo volver, ¿verdad?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Puta gracia. Basurearme de gratis te sale bien, ¿no?
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again.
Ya, pero conche tu
Ladies
madre.
and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Basurearme de gratis te encanta, ¿no? ¿Y si vuelvo para atrás? ¿Y si vuelvo para afuera de qué? ¿Eh?
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the
No,
spooky
no,
corridor,
¿sabes qué?
won't
No,
he?
no, 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 no. Chúpala. Volvemos para
Did
arriba.
you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Basuréame de gratis. Me importa una raja. Basuréame, a ver, basuréame de nuevo, a ver, dale, dale. Fuck it, dale.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
¡Ay, qué tu madre! Eso es lo que
Give
me
me a
sonó.
time out here for a minute while I process this.
Ay. Ay, Dios santo, qué estupidez de juego.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
No me voy. No que iba a hacer un podcast. Nunca dije que iba a hacer un podcast. Bueno, podría hacer un podcast, pero necesito gente. Y necesito un tema de conversación. El pajarito, weón. No puedo. No puedo.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
¿Listo? ¿Me voy ya? Ahora me va a decir algo porque voy a bajar.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
La wea. Y ahora, ¿puedo volver para arriba? ¿Me dais la opción? Espérate, ¿y salgo? No, no hice nada. Vale, vuelvo a barrer entonces. ¿Qué me decir ahora? A ver, weón. Dime algo ahora, pues. Ahora sí.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
No me voy. Ay,
There we go.
¿por qué acepté esto,
Isn't
weón?
this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension?
¿Por qué
Where's
acepté
the
esta weá?
trust in the audience
¿Por qué
to
acepté
build a
esta weá?
slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you.
Yeah.
Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you
Cualquier
have on them.
contexto que
This
sea.
is
Tu
the
mamá,
kind
weón.
of gesture
Tu mamá.
that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Pero weón. Pero weón. Pero weón.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Alison Stanley. World's Healthier Human Being. ¿Cómo hicimos las pirámides? En vivo. El chico que fue a Marte. La persona que fue a Marte. Una evening con el bebé de la paz mundial.
Ah, yes, here it is,
Esa es
just
la
through
portada
this
de
door.
Minecraft. El Stanley Parable, Stanley Tonight on Stage. El hombre, el proceso, el mito, la leyenda, el parable. Doing great, a conversation with... Estoy yendo bien, una conversación con Alexandro el Grande.
Right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly
427.
unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
Oh,
Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
the storyteller. Stanley reveals all his new book. Up again, down again. Weón. Qué wea. La persona, una audiencia con la persona que inventó la pizza. Conchetumario. Weón. No. No soporté la presión. Shusha.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, new content?
Contenido nuevo.
What does that mean?
Ah, no me deja pasar
New
para acá.
content.
No puedo. Nada, no puedo pasar para ahí. Una silla. No.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Sí.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Ah,
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Coffee Nut. 1951. ¿Esos son dibujos de sillas?
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's
Mucha
just
suerte,
the
anatomía.
beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Esto sube, ¿no?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go.
Oh.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Vale, antes de nada, déjame ir a configuración, video. Vale, está.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Gimme, your love.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
No me los voy a gastar.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Meh.
It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more.
Ah, Shusha.
Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
¿Qué hay acá? Uy. Gracias por...
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What?
Está guayando. Espérate, no decidí ver los logros del juego. Espera, si hago esto se ve. Sí, se ve. No, espérate, puedo ver, espérate. 8, welcome back. Voy a revisar esto luego. Pero weón, ya que wea.
Quality Assurance Department signed off on this. I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Ok. Esto es considerado como contenido nuevo, ¿no? El... No puedo cerrar la puerta. No, no puedo.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Me da miedo. Sunset. ¿Qué pasa si me voy por acá?
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so
No, la verdad que sí quiero.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Es que esto se me hace raro apenas puta la wea. Hago mi trabajo, solamente odio mi jefe. Bueno, ya, ¿por qué no? Coffee nut. Oh.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Oye, espérate. ¿Puedo configurar esto para que se vea mejor ahora? Alta. Sí, ¿por qué no?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Espérate. Se ve pegado, ¿no? Sí, se ve pegado. Déjame... Ahora se ve mejor, ¿verdad? Por lo menos se ve más... no se ve tan layado.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched?
Oh, Octubre del
Video
2013.
games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Octubre del 2013, weón. Tenía 13 años ahí. The Great Wealth is memory. Don't forget. Sound Sweet Sound. El juego en Steam. Es tanto que antiguo el Steam. ¿Y por qué es tan ruso? Ah, 2013. Cuando Stanley Parable. Cuando sacaron Stanley Parable. 2013. Sí. Stanley Parable. Por el narrador. Memories on Tempt. I remember. Ah, los premios. Bueno, esta es la edición física. La primera edición. El premio 2014 de la audiencia. De Last of Us. Si pusieron Stanley Parable encima. Pero son buenos. Good Times. Yeah. The Original Remake. Sí. Sí, cierto. Mozilla. De Stanley Parable Demonstration. Sí, de verdad que había la edición de demostración del juego. $1. A Trip to Memory Zone. El soundtrack. Smile because it happened. Alpha test. Un archivable. Este logro es imposible de obtener. Go outside. No juegues por 5 años en el juego original. Ah, qué bonito.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote,
Textual.
"Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley?
Sí,
Every game ever created. That's how
lo leí.
grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3.
Pues
It was all
Skyrim.
of them. And now, it's nothing.
Persona 3 y ahora nada.
It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk. Of new elevator content.
Chuy. The tasteful nostalgia, it was good. Oh, okay. Memory Zone Maintenance. Mantenimiento de la sala de memoria. Persona del año. Sí, en el espejo aparecía eso. Te iba a cantar una figurita del Stanley. Del original remake.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Textura
The
de,
Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the
Source.
nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone,
Uy, la
to
puerta
spend
azul y
the
roja.
rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews
Steam
from
reviews.
Steam,
Reseñas de
the
Steam.
online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
Chale.
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Chucha.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
Oh no.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Pero ¿estás seguro de eso? Profundo. Qué mal.
Okay,
bueno.
let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Chucha.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. But dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Sí lo era. A mí me gustaba al menos. Me gustaba mucho el primer juego.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Es que igual si uno solamente tiene reseñas positivas no hay mucho de lo que deba eso.
And here it is. Go
No.
ahead and give it a shot.
Déjame
I'll
salir,
pop
déjame
you
salir,
forward
déjame
in
salir.
time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue. And it
Well,
goes something like this.
Pero
The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? That's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
Creo que
I
se
guess I
puede.
should become better educated
Espera,
on
creo que se
exactly
puede.
how Steam works.
¿Se puede cambiar?
Perhaps that would have been
No
the
sé.
smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button.
Pero weón,
Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out.
o sea,
and
supongo
implement
que
a
por
new
lo menos
feature
la
to make it
gente del
possible to
futuro
edit
va a
one's
agradecer
review,
el
merely
botón de
because of
omitir.
this very situation.
Así que
Yes,
sería
I
algo
think
para
that's
futuro,
quite
no para la
likely.
gente que
Or perhaps
te
they'll
huelló en
simply
el
grant
pasado.
this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial.
Oh, la
Something
wea.
along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Y para los subtítulos. Y bueno,
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
chucha.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place?
Chucha.
I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window there? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall?
Pero-
I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't
Sí.
there? I swear there was.
Espérate.
Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work
Pero-
with me here.
pero-
We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as
Pero
long as it
bueno.
can open and lead from one room to another.
Qué
I'm
buen
going to
peligro.
step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are
Chucha.
getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just
No me
you
voy.
and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here.
Pero,
And
¿cómo
more
que
than
cayó?
anything else, I don't know how
¿Cómo
to
que cayó?
stop
No
you from
entiendo.
pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no
¿Será el
matter
directo?
how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been
Ah,
thinking
el
and
señor.
thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my
Es que no podía, weón. Voy a apretar el
It's
botón
all because of those
apenas terminé.
Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback.
No
Why
pudiste
was it
dejarlo
so
ir, weón.
important for me to fix the
Conche tu
problem?
madre.
Why did Cookie 9's opinion matter so much to me? I've never
No sé.
even met Cookie 9. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm
Cállate.
fixating on
Weón,
every tiny
cállate.
negative thing that anyone
métete,
ever
puto.
says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help
Conchetumare,
myself.
espérate.
I
Weón,
can't stop myself
por
from
favor.
lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases
¿Qué
this
soy
one
yo?
person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse
Ay,
serve?
weón, voy a...
For whose benefit is this? Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always
Yeah.
been, right? Me talking, and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't
Sí.
that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was... Oh, hello. It's you.
Asusha.
You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you
Está
and
más
about
apagado
us
esto,
and
weón.
about everything we've been through.
Espérate.
I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year.
Un
Have you
año.
ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley.
Remordimiento.
Days, months. I lost it all
Meses.
in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling
Weón.
had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant.
Un
In
año.
that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an
Vale,
impossibly
anatomía,
rich
en contexto,
wellspring of
esto es
both
un
delight
botón
and
para
disgust simultaneously.
skipear al
I was
narrador cada vez que
consumed
habla
by it.
y
I
cada
could do
vez se
nothing
toma
but wallow in
más
it for what
tiempo.
felt like an eternity.
La última vez que
But
apreté el
what I
botón
now know was far
estuve
less.
parado por un año.
You see, it was a revelation
Una
for me.
epifanía.
It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome.
Puta, ya, lo voy a
It
callar,
was
lo voy a callar.
divorced entirely from the question of free will
Ya,
that
ya.
you and I have
Ya no está. ¿Es una alarma de humo? El reloj se cayó. La planta se murió. ¿Cuánto tiempo ha pasado? Las dos veces anteriores fue un año. No puedo salir y la puerta desapareció.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful
No lo ha
demands.
dejado ir.
But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a
lograron.
lack of
Finalmente
cohesion
lo
in one's
rompieron.
assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review.
Sí,
So here's
cualquier
what we
persona
get.
puede dejar una
We get these
reseña.
demands that seek everything and are accountable
Pero
to nothing.
no-
We
no-
get
no
a
es
world where
necesario-
someone will say, "Oh, there should
no es
be a
necesario
skip
seguir
button.
la
You should be
exigencia de los
able to
demás,
freeze
weón.
Stanley in place while
Pero-
the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand
No lo
it.
exigieron.
And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen.
Sí,
The
alguien lo
most
dijo, pero
immediate
weón.
desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes!
No.
Yes! It
No!
seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives.
No hay...
It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves.
O sea,
We would
bueno,
turn to
básicamente
look
sí,
at our
pero-
deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves.
Entonces le pregunté.
What a pitiful reflection of
Creo que
humanity
está la
these
última
entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm
Chucha.
not mad. I'm not mad about any
No,
of
claro
this.
que no.
I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which
No,
these
yeah.
perversions hurl
Se nota,
themselves.
se nota.
I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't
Pero-
stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something.
Pero-
Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course.
No, tampoco es
They've
eso,
been
pero
jealous
¿por
of
qué
me
tienes que
this
dejarte,
whole
por qué
time?
tienes que dejarte
They
llevar por lo
are mired
negativo,
in
weón?
fear and insecurity.
¿Por
I
qué?
cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs.
Pero-
When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the
Weón.
bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves, they couldn't help but
Que te viene anatomía.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Se están pasando con la gotera. ¿De dónde sale el agua? Ya apareció Don Hold Me I'm Scared. No, la escalera se cayó. ¡Oh! Oh. ¡No, la planta! Me acabo de dar cuenta, no, la planta. ¡Oh! Uy. Ah. Ya, cerramos la puerta. Chucha. ¿Ah? veo algo para allá. Eh, espérate. Voy a quedarme aquí. Espera un momento. Espera un poquito. Vuelvo ahora. Vuelvo ahora. Vuelvo ahora. Vuelvo en un momento. ¿Dónde está el...? No, no tengo. Ah, vale, ¿qué? Espérame. Hola chicos. Acabo de volver, hola. Vale. Continuamos. No, pusiste mi dibujo no, sí. Tenía que.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Vale, no me dice nada si me voy por acá.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
¿Y si me devuelvo? No me dice nada, puta la wea. Pensé que me iba a decir algo. Sí, volví justo, bueno. Bueno, ya, volveré. No me aceptó, no, una disculpa. Vale, solamente voy a poder jugar por un rato más porque si no, porque luego me voy a tener que ir a comer, así que... Sí, a esto me refería con problemas con la hora, Itzy.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Probando dos impresoras a la vez. Y el papel está todo negro. Bueno, depende mucho si es una secuela buena o una secuela mala. Hay algunos juegos los cuales tienen una secuela pero no llega a ser tan buena como el primer juego. Y es preocupante a veces. Aunque hay otras veces las cuales incluso llega a superar al juego. O películas también, pongamos en cuenta Shock 2. The End is Never the End. Again. 427. Me gusta ese.
The Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Pues sí, se podría decir que sí. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. No alcanzo a leer. Puertas de vidrio. They're back. 2 doors. Está tratando de sacar todo paldo. Don't talk to me before I had my sequel. Every pause button is a Roman. Cada botón de pausa es el número 2 en romano. Win-win 2. Sequential Mindshare. El color rojo. Ok, un PowerPoint. Está para 2 plantas. 2 hemisferios del cerebro. Una MacBook. ¿Por qué 2 plantas?
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be. But
Prueba la
let's
secuela.
take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I
Okay.
figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
2 ojos, 2 orejas, 2 fosas nasales, 2 brazos, 2 piernas. ¿Ah? ¿Quién, ¿Quién tomó el plumón rojo? Yo. 2. La precuela está Stanley Parable. 2 es la precuela de Stanley Parable 2, es la precuela de Stanley Parable 2, es la precuela de Stanley Parable 2, es la precuela. Parece el logo de Left 4 Dead. ¡Uy, sí! 2. Puede que sea una referencia al Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2. This way to the show floor. New features. Nuevo contenido. Asientos. 2. 3. Una silla. Estoy weando. Así que a esto se refieren con contenido nuevo.
Here we are.
¡Una cubeta!
New features.
El botón que dice tu nombre en el juego que estás jugando. Eso es nuevo. Stanley Parable 2. La cubeta de Reassurance. No tengo ni idea que sea Reassurance, se me olvidó. Por favor, no screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday
Mejórate algún día,
and
felices
Happy
12
12th
años.
Birthday. Which would you go with?
Paz, Nick, buenas. Muy buenas. Primera vez. Reassurance, sentimiento de seguridad. Ah, vale, la cubeta de sentimiento de seguridad. Ay, qué estúpido más grande este juego, Julio. Cómo lo amo. Ya, a ver, quien me diga primero. Ten un buen cumpleaños 12 o por favor, mejórate algún día. Qué estupidez de juego, lo amo. 12, vale.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday, it...
¡Ya! Muchas gracias, juego. Muchísimas gracias. Puta la wea.
Or actually, maybe I should have...
Sí, sí, por favor.
No, I've made my
No,
decision when
por
moving on.
favor.
Come now, you've already made your
No,
choice.
pero weón.
It's true that you chose badly, but we have to move on from our mistakes.
Ya, lo hice el weón que empezaba a rantear porque... Ay, no me dio una opinión mala en Steam. Bastardo culiao. ¿Por qué? Yo creo mi globo. Logro gratis. Jala de la palanca, recibe tu logro gratis. Paso 3, no más pasos. It just works.
Now,
Este bueno
here's
elige
something
mal.
special. You remember that
Yeah.
broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm
Ah, sí.
developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever,
Yes,
and when you
yeah.
pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Gracias, Nick. O sea que el logro de prueba lo puedo agarrar, ¿no?
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right
Ya,
now,
pero-
the achievement is still fully broken.
Puta
I'm
la
not a
wea.
wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
El círculo de... Oh.
You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Me están llamando para ir a comer. No voy a terminar stream, pero voy a dejarlos aquí al menos, para que hagan lo que quieran. Voy a poner algo por el estilo, no sé, música de elevador. Sí, esto siempre funciona. Vale, vuelvo en un momento. Los veré en un rato. Hola gente, ya volví. Espero, de verdad que espero no haberme ido por tanto rato. Hola. Hola, ¿cómo están? Hola, buen día. Bueno, yo creo que vamos a continuar. Espero no haberme tardado tanto. De verdad lo siento. Traté de comer a los flash y... No, flasheando más. No. Bueno, déjame revisar unas cositas. Unas cositas. Vale, pues nada. Sigamos. No, espérate, tengo que quitar esto. Ahí está. Vale. Agujero infinito, logro gratis. As mundial de la configuración. ¿Qué tengo que hacer? No sé. Agujero infinito. Abertura. Borde. Profundidad infinita. Área alrededor. Infinito. Cayendo. Ciencia. Más. Solamente uso educacional. Qué genial, ¿no? Agujero. Espacio. Tiempo. Agujero. Más agujero. ¿Qué es esto? Sigue yendo para abajo. What?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
Okay.
You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Okay.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so.
Dios santo.
Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
¿Por qué?
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Chale.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
Pero no dije
Why don't
nada.
we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole
Casi
mostly
infinita.
infinite. If that works for you, then go
Uh,
ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on.
¿Sabes qué?
I'll
No,
just
me
be
voy a
up
quedar aquí.
here when you're ready.
Me voy a quedar aquí. Me voy a quedar aquí. ¿Sabes qué? Me voy a quedar aquí. Me voy a quedar aquí. Bueno, veo que no está funcionando, así que me iré para arriba.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven. You see? I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you
Sí.
spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite
Espera,
hole.
incluso el agujero de
I
arriba es
didn't think it was
más
that
grande
not
ahora.
infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's
Es más
nothing to
pequeño.
do here. If you
Es más
decide you've had
pequeño.
enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Ok.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled.
No, la verdad que no.
I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
Mira, sí, tal vez tú, pero yo no.
Gosh, how could you do this? You're back in the hole. If this
Volvimos
starts
al...
to become a thing where... Wow, okay, yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I
Sí.
suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing.
Qué raro.
What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
En vez de cóncavo podremos decir que es un agujero al fin y al cabo, porque igual está hecho para que sea un agujero, aunque sea muy pequeño. Si fuera cóncavo sería algo cóncavo.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
No quiero. Vamos a ir.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
No!
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole.
No me
And now
dejes.
you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole. I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
Ah, puta, muchas gracias, pues. ¿Está bajando? Está bajando lentamente. Oh, idea mía. Buenas noches. Que le vaya bien. Está bajando. Está bajando. What? Hasta la próxima. No, baja el hueco. ¡Ayuda! Bueno, hasta luego, hasta luego. Forma. Va, percepción.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer
Realidad.
using up the space.
Concha de madre. Oh.